What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. First stream of 2025, and it's not a celebratory one, is it? It's one where we're going to speak about a few decisions being made by our manager and also just the team in general. I thought it was such a poor game today, really poor. Didn't come alive until the 68th minute, and that's when a few talking points started. So, look, people, um, I do the jokes, but shall I do the joke? I mean, we haven't won a game in 2025. We haven't won a game since 2024, and that's it for me. I'm gonna try. That's gonna try and be the last ones. Okay, I promise. I'll try and do my best to stop those old dad jokes now. Well, listen, people, like the video as you come in, or if you're watching a replay, drop your comments below on your thoughts on the game, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get the subscribers up. Let's try and get them up by 10 this year. Thank you to Wilf Graham, David Roberts, John Abbott, and Phil Hartley, Simon Harris for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, guys, and thank you to all my existing members. Leeds here saying we should have smashed them. Yeah, well, listen, it's ended Leeds United 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. It was quite clear what the game plan was from Blackburn today. It was to get out with a point, or if they could sneak 3 points on the counter-attack, they would have taken it. But we literally had all the ball in this game, pretty much all of it. Meslier had nothing to do today by the goal that they scored, but I'm not even putting that down to him. I think that was just a microcosm of the whole game. We just asleep. It felt like we just rolled out of bed. I feel like maybe some of them were partying too late. I don't know, but it was just very slow for a 3 o'clock kickoff at Elland Road. It was pure sideways passing again. I mean, that first half was just so uneventful. I don't even think we need to even go into it unless there's something anyone can think of from the first half. It was boring as hell. I was sleepy. All right, I was almost asleep. So I don't envision this one going on too long. But what today's game has done is put us at risk with the fullbacks in terms of Jayden Bogle. We'll speak about that, and also just the way that it's so robotic with Danny Farke when it comes to certain subs that we're going to have to speak about it in this stream. Perrot House, salute to you. Thank you for the super sticker. Big support of the channel. Love you, Perrot House. Thank you for that. And Isaac with the super chat here saying, Happy New Year, KG. Not the best start to the year. Yeah, it's not the best start. Look, we've got the point, but that should have been 3. Should have been 3 today against that Blackburn Rovers team that had 0 intent on winning the game. And it just shows you again, doesn't it? I said it in the preview yesterday, so this is not me going through hindsight. We can have the better players. You can be the better team. But sometimes a manager just solves you. And you saw today that there was various instances of Blackburn playing the game. John Eustace pretty much having Daniel Farke's number again. It's not the first time, and hopefully it will be the last, because hopefully we'll be in 2 different leagues come the next season. But John Eustace pretty much did him again. He did him again. So yeah, let me just get the next super chat here. Mr. P in the house. Shout out to you, Mr. P. Gilavogia sub would have meant more than Bamford coming on. We'll speak about that, of course. If Bamford is the answer, I don't know what the question is. Yeah, Bamford in big 2025, man. Listen, it's January 1st. He's not happy with the amount of football he's getting. 10 substitute appearances on the season now for such a high earner. It's time for Bamford and Leeds to separate this relationship. It's been overdue. If you've been with me a long time, you know it's been overdue. But once again, I've got to say it. I don't know what you're expecting from Bamford when he comes on. I don't expect anything, so I don't put this on Patrick Bamford anymore. Put it on the manager, and we're gonna have to speak about it. We're gonna have to speak about it. First of all, let's go into the team. I only got one thing wrong out of the predicted 11, and that is that Tanaka stayed in over Ampadu. I had everything else correctly except for Ampadu not starting. I was pretty surprised. I thought we could have probably done with Ampadu starting, especially after that game he had against Derby. And with him coming on, and we're going to speak about this as well, with him coming on due to injury, he should have started the game for me, Ampadu. He just gives you that extra defensive balance so the central midfield can do a little bit more. Because today, Tanaka and Ruffwell in particular, by the way, was poor. I thought Ruffwell had a stinking game. He was trying his best to get passes moving going forward, but none of them were landing. Whether it's the rain, whatever it was, the skid off this turf, a lot of his passes were not landing when he was going forward. But Bogle, let's speak about Bogle's injury first. That's going to be key for me. Hopefully he's not out too long, people, because that it does look like it's going to be a hammy, and that could be a couple of weeks, could be a month. We're going to have to wait and see what the prognosis is for that one. But what that does mean, though, is that if Sam Byram is playing again, and we're going to have to speak about this as well, we're going to have Sam Byram and probably Ampadu as our fullbacks until we get a new one in. And that just takes away the whole attacking threat of what our fullbacks give you, especially one like Jaden Bogle, who's been brilliant going forward for us over the last few games. Well, not just few games, over the recent months. And it just says to me, and we spoke about yesterday's stream, that we do need to get fullbacks in this month. Whether it's one, maybe just get one if you have to, because this I want to separate this. Let me separate the Schmidt thing first. If Bogle's out for an amount of time, we're going to need to get people in, because we can't rely on Max Verber to stay fit. And Ampadu, as much as he'll probably love having Rothwell, Tanaka in the midfield, then shoehorning Ampadu at right back, Ampadu's position is central midfield. He's our best central midfielder by far. It's not even close either. He is the one that is most Premier League, level to me, and he just makes that difference, as he showed against Derby. Mr. P here saying Ampadu injected so much pace when he came on, not sure why he didn't start. Yeah. Mr. P also added, one would have thought Schmidt would be the ideal replacement as the marauding fullback. Let's just get, and Michael Pollard, this is it as well. Byram clearly overplayed. Time to recruit in January, get us over the line. Yeah, the Byram thing, and I said it yesterday. I said it's going to be super damning of Isaac Schmidt if he doesn't start tomorrow, because there is no way that Sam Byram should be starting 4 games in a row. We know what he's like when he has to play 2 games in a week, let alone 4 starts. It shouldn't happen. But the fact is, and these are facts, this isn't my opinion, this is what's happened. Sam Byram came off at halftime because he wasn't having a good game. We weren't getting any overlaps on that left-hand side because he just didn't have it today. It looked like he was kind of managing himself today, in all honesty, during that first half. Then, obviously, he brings on Max Verber, which is what I would expect. If Max Verber's on the bench, he should be coming on. But then Jaden Bogle comes off. He brings on Ethan Ampadu. We're then looking for, more attacking options, which Daniel Farke says he sees Isaac Schmidt as. He still doesn't play him. Guys, this Isaac Schmidt thing is coming embarrassing. And I'm not just talking about for us, I'm talking about for him personally. Because what it is now, what people don't really look at is the player himself. He's come over here expecting to be a backup fullback for Junior Firpo. And ever since he stepped into the building, obviously, whatever it is Farke has seen with him, he does not like. Okay, plain and simple. So that's why when people talk about Schmidt, he can play this, he can play this. He's stapled to the bench yet again today, even though we had numerous changes. This Isaac Schmidt thing is becoming a little bit embarrassing, and it just amplifies how much we do need to get a fullback in this month, because the proof's in the pudding. He's not playing football for us. He hasn't played 90 minutes for this football club, and he's been here for a very long time. Whenever there's changes needed at fullback, he does not come on. He doesn't come on unless it's like for 8 minutes here and there, every other odd game. It's becoming an embarrassment, and you just got to think about, for him, he just keeps on turning up on the bench. There's things that are changing, and he's never the answer. He's never the answer to the solution. He's never the answer for it. So listen, if he hadn't already played for his first club and then played for us, I would be 100% sure he'd be on his bike this month. I have no doubt about it. But because he's played for 2 clubs, he can't go anywhere. Not at least, I don't know if there's anywhere else around the world he can possibly play for a 3rd club. I think it must be a worldwide thing, but I don't know for sure. But he's not going anywhere. So he's like a decoration on the bench at this point, really. Yeah, Darren here saying, funny thing is Schmidt didn't look bad when he did play. Yeah, I agree with you, Darren. He doesn't look bad when he plays, but I just don't know what it is that Daniel Farke doesn't like about him, or doesn't like about his game, I should say, that he doesn't trust him to put him on whenever. Also shows as well today, in terms of the substitutions, is that there was one that was pretty much pre-planned, and you can tell because the positions aren't even similar. When Bogle had to come off, whoever the referee was, the 4th official, read the other substitution, and that was Rothwell off for Nanto to come on. And we saw that substitution, that very same one, come on happen later on in the game. And it just shows you, and it goes into the next point, just how rigid sometimes Daniel Farke is when it comes to these changes. Like he has these pre-planned subs in his head. And even like today, where we've had a spanner in the works with injuries or with out of form Byram, who couldn't manage a fourth game in a row, unsurprisingly, that he just has to stick with it. Because at the time, people, let's talk about the Solomon thing, because that just blew me away. Because no matter how poor we look today, and collectively we look poor today, people, Solomon was the one bright spark, even in the first half, who was trying to make things happen, trying to cut back in, make things happen on his right foot. And he literally put a chance on the plate for anyone to follow in, and James just missed it before he got subbed off. And Solomon's reaction, people, was absolutely spot on. Spot on. There shouldn't be anyone going, he can't react like that. Grow a pair. That's how you should react when you're literally the one bright spark on the pitch and there's other players that could easily come off before you. And it's like, well, why am I coming off now? I've just created a brilliant chance. Keep me on the pitch. Let me cook a little more. He had every right to be very disappointed. And you want to see that from your players, people. You want to see that from your players being disappointed when they feel like they could do something. You want to see that disappointment in them. And he was absolutely right. Obviously, at some point, that was a pre-planned sub of Solomon to come off and Bamford to come out. Listen, that just in itself, Solomon off and Bamford on. I should call the police and press charges for that. That could be a crime. Honestly, that should be a crime in 2025, in any 2020 thing. Just ridiculous for me. And it just killed the game for me. It just killed whatever had, because Solomon was literally our most dangerous player. John here saying Farke's substitution are so poor and badly timed. I've given him credit in the previous games. He's done well with them, but today was a stinker today. Absolute stinker. And it just shows when there's spanners thrown in the works and he doesn't get to do his 68-minute or 72nd-minute substitutions with no injuries happening, it just throws his whole plan off. He can't do it on the fly. But we've known that anyway. D Parker, man, gifted 5 memberships, man. Salute to you, D Parker, man. Thank you for that. Salute, man. Mr. P saying, I heard Doris the T lady is going to get tried at left back. Salute to you, Mr. P. Thank you for that. Reese in the house as well. Thank you for the super chat, Reese. Strange subs and stressful games, but we're still in a great position in the league, especially if Sheffield United failed to win. Need a few additions in January. Yeah. Yeah, and listen, and salute to all that. Thank you. Martin here saying, KG, don't defend Farke. I'm not defending him. Let me seems he has a personal issue with Schmidt. It was the same with Tanaka, who wasn't getting a start before Gruev and Ampadu got injured. Well, listen, we always know with Farke, unless there's an injury that happens, he will stay to the tried and true tested formula. We know that anyway. But the thing is, it's when things return, he doesn't change it back, much like last season where he just kept Ampadu and Rodon together, where we needed Ampadu back in midfield and you could have used Cresswell at centre back. He doesn't. He's just a very rigid manager, and we know that. And that's the kind of thing you've got to go with in this division. Would not work in the Prem. Let me just say that. But yeah, I just thought it was really poor, and just like his body language on the touchline, you could tell he was getting agitated with a lot of things going on. But I think it was more to do with how things went off track in terms of the planned substitutions, the way we were playing, and how he had to readjust a few things. You know, it just didn't make sense today, people. That just didn't make sense to me. Skip here saying, thought that was one of Dan James' worst game of the season. Maybe so, but I don't think he was like outlandishly bad today. In fact, he was probably one of our other ones that was more likely to create something or do something, because there was one instance, I think it was after Solomon went off, where Dan James is running down the right and he puts one across, and I don't think anyone was there. In fact, I think it went over Bamford's head and went out to the left. But yeah, listen, he's not going to be a 7, 8 out of 10 every week, but we shouldn't expect him to. But at the time, it should have been Solomon that stays on. Our goal, by the way, and shout out to Joseph for buying the penalty. What all I'll say is that I'd be very disappointed if we conceded that penalty, and I think a lot of you would too. I don't know, what did it seem like it was an out-and-out penalty for you? I thought that we bought it very well, but very good penalty by Pascal. Again, trust Pascal to take the penalties. I know he's missed one previously, but he's got a good record from the spot. But yeah, and you just think there 1-0. That's another result where we haven't played well, we haven't done anything right that we should have done during the game, but we're going to get 3 points and escape. That just puts another nail into it and makes the other teams around us go, oh man, this team again, they didn't even deserve to win this game. But their goal was just symptomatic of the whole game, just a set piece. And I don't even think it's one of those where we talk about we're poor at set pieces or poor at defending set pieces. I think we're just asleep. You know, we're still celebrating our goal, and they just get one in, just bounces around a bit. And who is it? Danny Bath scored the goal. Yeah, for me, I don't really put anyone at fault there. I just think it was just symptomatic of the whole game today. I do. Um, Yeah, I know the defender was horrendous, Tom, but you know what? I think it was. I think it was more the concentration. I think throughout the whole game today, the concentration just wasn't there. There was just so much sloppy passing. If it wasn't going sideways or backwards, some of the passing today was absolutely atrocious. Really, really bad today, and very much unlike what we usually do at Elland Road. But you just think, man, how we set up today, was it the whole John Eustace factor? Did Danny Farke overthink it today? Could you have put Max Verber in from the start instead of a worn-out Sam Byram? Well, you know, that's all hindsight now. Michael here saying, what does Gilavogi have to do to get on? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Did we need Gilavogi today? Was he the one that was needed today? I don't know. I don't know, because we was okay midfield. They weren't good today in overall, but I don't know if we actually needed him. I think we actually needed just to replace, you know, go with another winger. I think we probably need another winger for some real balance, because once Solomon came off, that left hand side was very, very shaky, man. It was bad. It was bad. Michael is saying Tanaka and Rodon so negative sideways passing constantly. Yeah, a few of them were, Michael. It wasn't just them two, but you're absolutely correct. Cade here saying here, I think we'll be fine going forward. It's just a Eustace factor. With Ampadu in the lineup, we win nearly every game. Yeah. Saying, okay, Joshua was needed at the end, and Michael also follows up. Joshua could have helped with the corner. Okay, fair enough, man. One man. But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, man. Oh man, but listen, I don't think there's anything else. Honestly, I don't think there's anything else from the game. It was such a poor game. Just refreshing things just to see if anything else has come out. But I've got to say, man, yeah, okay. There we are. LUFC data there with just the with just one of these facts here. Leeds have failed to defeat sides managed by John Eustace in 4 competitive attempts. Yeah, we can't. You can't solve him. You can't solve him. Michael here saying Peru. Listen, I can't really say much about Peru because there wasn't nothing really going on in the box. I'll be real with you. Look, this isn't me just like, I'm not defending anybody here, but look, we had 12 shots on target and 12 shots and 4 on target, and that wasn't until late in the second half. One of our most dangerous plays didn't come until the 68th minute, people. 68th minute. So if Peru's not getting opportunities to score, I don't know what it is that you're looking for him to do when he's up front, not getting any service. That's all I would say. Yeah, fuck. Lewis, it's funny you say that. I was thinking that, you know, when I was watching the game, I was like, when they come back to 1-1, I was thinking, damn, man, Farke just can't solve John Eustace, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Tintin here saying, yeah, we're going to have games like this. Yeah, of course we are, Tintin. We're going to have games where we're not going to win, but you can still analyze it game by game and say, well, why didn't we win this game? How didn't we win this game against Blackburn, who were recently, their form's been a lot shakier? You know, this isn't the Blackburn team that come in that won 6 in a row. You know, they hadn't won. Well, they haven't won now in the previous 4. So, you know, there was opportunities here, especially off the back of 2 brilliant away wins that we've had, that we should be winning this game today. They don't play like that every game, Darren. Absolutely not. No, usually Tyrese Dolan, who, you know, yeah, that's my guy there. He's usually a lot more influential on the game, but they literally came here to shut up shop, and it's as simple as that. And James here saying here, Blackburn defended well today. There were some good crosses by Solomon, but they were well defended. And I agree with that. They did their job today. Again, I don't put anything on Blackburn for coming here with that game plan. I don't. We're a better team, so they will give us the ball most of the time and say break us down. And again, people, just before we finish, that was a disappointing thing in the first half, especially because we've seen in the previous away games when we move that ball quickly, no one touches us. But in the first half in particular, it was just so slow, so plodding, so methodical that Blackburn just got him back into two big banks, and we couldn't break him down today. Couldn't do it. So listen, I will be back tomorrow, though, people. I will be back. And listen, yeah. Burnley had a poor result. Let me just get that up. Sheffield United play Sunderland away tonight. So even if Sheffield United win that game, we'll be on the same amount of points, but we do have a far superior goal difference. So I will be watching that game, and just hopefully, I hope Sunderland win that game, obviously, and keep Sheffield United at bay. But yeah, we're going to have results like this, but it sucks. I'm not going to lie. I expect to beat Blackburn at home, but we need to get back on that winning horse in the next game. 100%. Let's have a look. Scott here saying Schmidt would do a better job than Ampadu at right back, but safety first with Farke. Yeah. I did. Someone said to me, he must have took off Solomon because he was attacking too much, and I did laugh. I shouldn't laugh at that, but it's almost true, isn't it? It's almost true, but yeah. But look, I don't disagree with that, Scott. I don't disagree, but he doesn't trust him, and that transfer has been an absolute flop. Not on Schmidt, because what we've seen of him, he's been good. It's not like he's been a disaster when he's come on the pitch, but just his usage, it's been a waste of money in a league and in conditions where you cannot afford to waste money. And we've done that already, but we are going to have to buy another fullback this month. We're going to have to, because there's no way that this window can close. And then Danny Farke being asked, did you want to get in another fullback? And then he says, well, we've got Verpo, we got Schmidt, we got Verbo, we got Byram, Bogle. Absolutely not. You can't say that, because we've had Schmidt for a long time and you've barely used it. So yeah. People, yeah. Oh, Crypto Steve, yeah, give him props, because Pears, and that's another disappointing thing, by the way, because Pears isn't a good goalkeeper, but that was a very good save from, I think you're talking about Verba shot, aren't you, Steve? Good save, very, very good save, because Verba hammered that shot, and good save at the near post by the keeper, for sure. But yeah, that's it. There really isn't nothing else to say from this game. But people, I will be back tomorrow with another video, so tune in, smash the like on the video before you go. Leeds start 2025 with a 1-1 draw. We wait to see what Sheffield United do against Sunderland later. We will remain top, though, after this game week, so we've got that. But people, give me your thoughts and feelings about the game today in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.